Betting Weekly Live here with you on a Friday, a Black Friday, day after Thanksgiving, holiday for most people, as everybody kind of digests all the food from yesterday and gets themselves all set up for just already been a massive day. When there's more to come tonight. Mike Carver here with you, along with Doug Kezirian, as we have NFL going on now. We have college football going on now. We have games tonight. We have NBA Cup. We have hockey. I think you get the idea. Hi, Doug. How are you?
Had a little Thai cuisine last night, so I avoided the turkey. Went
Yes.
different route, feeling trim, thin, not stuffed. No tryptophan for this gambler here. So we are ready to attack the betting card all throughout the weekend.
I got to tell you, there was none for me. I stayed away from the turkey yesterday, Doug, because I was too locked in. I had a lot of fun yesterday because at the over in that Packer Lion game, Watson scored for me, went in on the Cowboys in the second game, had some stuff in the Ishavas touchdown in the last game. I was flying yesterday,
Whoa.
Doug, so I had no time for turkey with all the NFL that was going on. I had a good Thursday.
Did you have the money line parlay of 22-1 on all three
No.
dogs in the NFL?
No, that I did not have. I cannot admit to that. But I had some pretty good stuff aside from that, which made it a fun Turkey Thursday for me. And now we roll that right into today. And yes, we are back today. Our new start time, 4 p.m. East, of course. And we'll be that going forward. So when we come back on Monday, 4 p.m. East is the time to be. The Bears and the Eagles is where we'll start today because they are going on right now. About 5 minutes left in the first half in Philadelphia, 10-3. The Bears, who of course were 7-point dogs coming into today, they have the lead over the Eagles right now at Bet Rivers. Bears now -2.5 live, with the total down from about 43.5 to in-game 39.5, Doug, as we get through the last few minutes of the first half.
Honestly, the game's playing out exactly how I thought it would. I'm not impressed with this Eagles team, and I didn't think the Bears would solve it. I got a little worried with the weather reports because wind certainly would affect the air attack of Ben Johnson's diagramming of Caleb Williams. But honestly, I thought the Bears were live. I think this Eagles team is a shell of the one that won in the Super Bowl. Barkley's not the same. Hurts is not the same, little dysfunction. Defensive front's excellent, but that's what Ben Johnson thrives. He can run circles around these kind of defenses, right? With all the weapons and things along those lines. So I thought the dog was live. In terms of the adjusted line, I don't want to lay 2.5 here. Bears have gotten away with some stuff. They play nail biters, as we know. They just win them. So that's why I liked the 7.5 when we discussed this game. I think the under is probably the way to go. 39 is a low number, but I don't expect much from Philly here.
Yeah, and it really hasn't moved much here yet. Obviously, 13 points on the board. It's gone down a few. Let's say the Bears get another score here before the half. Thinking about the Eagles, if it could creep over 3, Doug, maybe if the Eagles got over 3 but they've looked so bad, honestly, here in the
Yeah, I
first
mean, but
half,
they're only good
especially
for one
offensively.
half. So if they play poorly in the first half, usually they
Yeah.
can flip the switch in the second half because you usually get one good half out of them. One really good half, I should say.
You usually do get that. So we have our eyes on that here during Betting Weekly Live on a Friday, some live NFL with the Bears and the Eagles in Philadelphia. All right, let's do the rest of the NFL for the weekend now as we look ahead. Of course, a bunch of games on Sunday. We mentioned Wednesday. The slate isn't as great. You're going to pay for all the good games you had on Thanksgiving and today because you're going to get some matchups on Sunday that tough scene. Jets, Falcons, things like that coming up. As far as the injury report, there has been some things that have trickled out today, and we will kind of put those into some of these games here, Doug. And I think notably the first one we do that with is the Bills and the Steelers, 425 East on Sunday, because the Bills, they looked awful in Houston last Thursday night, the last time they played. And part of the reason was banged up on the offensive line, and they will not have the ends. They will not have left tackle Deion Dawkins. They will not have right tackle Spencer Brown in that game. They're not going to have Terrell Bernard on defense either, who's probably their best linebacker. So lots of injuries for the Bills as they still sit. Now, I'm surprised, even with these guys being out, didn't move. 3.5 for the Bills in Pittsburgh, and Rodgers is going to play, according to Tomlin today.
I think we'll see some line movement on game day, right? A lot of the sharp groups and syndicates save their money for all the action going on between now and then. They don't want to tie it up per se. But I do think with the injury update on the tackles, that has me really concerned. How could it not? Now, Texans are cut above a lot of teams. Steelers are good enough to take advantage of both tackles. So I honestly lean to the under here, but the Bills defense leaves a lot to be desired. I think it's for me, it's a lean to the Steelers.
Yeah, look, I know I said to you the other day, over was where I was kind of
Right.
playing things, but now when you both those guys being out, and you think of T.J. Watt on the other side and what he does and what Will Anderson did a week ago to the Bills with those guys not in the game, that makes it very difficult for me. Now, I thought that maybe this game could be up and down because the Bill defense has been bad. And the Steeler defense hasn't been great either, but it's the one impactful player for me that can wreck a game without the tackles there. As bad as the Steeler D has been, Doug, Watt might be able to go through the turnstiles there, either on the right or the left side. And that makes me nervous about that
I mean,
for the
that's the
Buffalo.
thought process behind it all for sure, right? Like that we get. I just think the Steelers should click here and there. I don't think they're very good, but I don't think the Bills are very good. That defense leaves a lot to be desired. And if the O line's that banged up, I mean, how's the play calling, right? I don't know. Um, can they offset what the Steelers are going to bring defensively?
Right. And the other thing to probably note in this game is with the Chiefs and the Ravens both losing yesterday, this really does become a pretty significant game for both sides. You know, the Steelers have a chance to go back in front in the AFC North. I think the Bills want to try to distance themselves from those two teams as much as possible because I kind of gave you this scenario a few weeks ago. If there's a world where the Bills are in the playoffs and the Chiefs and Ravens aren't, that might open some doors for them that haven't been open in the last few years with the Chiefs not being in, because the Chiefs have been the Bills' kryptonite in the playoffs, and try to just, you know, go after the Bo Nixes and the Daniel Joneses and the Drake Mays to try to finally get themselves to a Super Bowl. But interesting game now with the Bills and the Steelers coming up here on Sunday. Hopefully, Josh Allen got all iced up after last week. I know he was hurting after the Texans beat him up in that game. Other game of significance in the AFC is the Texans and the Colts. This game will be in the early window, 1 o'clock East start. Colts -3.5 and a 44.5 for the total. Now, Daniel Jones was on the injury report, off it for a day, and then back on it. And I'm sure you saw that video of him, Doug, at practice. He didn't look too good. Just dropping back and taking snaps at practice. He didn't look very spry. So that's not good with the Texan defense coming to town.
Honestly, I've been wrong on the Colts games the last like month, so I'm a little gun shy here. Obviously, I think Stroud's better than Davis Mills. What do they call him? The throat goat or something like that because of his long neck. But Mills is certainly more than a serviceable backup. So he's been fine. He's been getting reps. Obviously, he's led him to some wins. This guy was a stud coming out of high school, to be honest. Went to Stanford, had some injuries and things along those lines. So this was not a random quarterback by any means. He's not Ben DiNucci here, and he certainly isn't Teddy Two Gloves Bridgewater, who was terrible on Sunday night. As for Stroud and what this does to the line, I'm still a believer in the Colts, although it's like that scene in Back to the Future with the Polaroid that Marty McFly is holding. It's fading. It's really fading, and I'm not optimistic if they lose this game. So everyone's chugging, not drinking, chugging the Texans Kool-Aid these days. I am not. I still think there are serious limitations there. I think the Colts are the complete package on offense. I think they get back on track. Losing to the Chiefs at Arrowhead, nothing to sneeze about.
Yeah, I don't think that either of these teams I'm completely bought in on yet, Doug. And I'm not sure I would be no matter who won on Sunday. I still think there would be
Right.
questions no matter who wins
Oh
this
yeah.
game. I'm not ready to reach out and grab futures with the Colts and the Texans, even though I saw the Colts as after yesterday's losses by Kansas City and Baltimore, them in some places being the favorite in the AFC now. That's a little too much.
Is this just a preview of the that first divisional weekend playoff game where it's
Saturday,
like on
4:30 East.
yeah,
Saturday,
yeah, on
4:30
NFL
East.
Network or something,
That's
Let's
it.
just let's just put that on NBA TV for old time's sake.
Get right to it. Texans and Colts in a barn burner to start a wild card weekend. Why not? Uh, Sunday night, Denver off a bye into Washington. This is the Sunday night game. Jeez, we couldn't flex something. Broncos minus 5.5, 43 flat the total. No Jaden Daniels. He is out, which means you get more Marcus Mariota. I can't wait, Doug, to watch him play Sunday night.
No, I like him as a backup, especially in this system, right? You want to maintain the things you normally do. It's like what were the Ravens doing with Cooper Rush backing up Lamar Jackson? Like that doesn't make sense. There's no continuity there. I think this is a Broncos smash spot.
Mm.
I think the Broncos have heard all the chirping. They went into the bye with the win over the Chiefs. I think they come out here and lay a smackdown. You actually get 4 good quarters out of Bo Nix. I think the Broncos are for real on defense, and then at offense, I think they can get it together. They've played with fire a little bit. I think they should look a lot sharper. And I honestly think a lot of the Commanders have quit. They know the deal. You don't go deep into the playoffs and then the next year have I don't know, moral victories with a backup quarterback. I think they might mail it in. Although the Sunday night component, this could be like the Steelers getting mauled by the Chargers that we saw a few Sundays ago.
Yeah, we've had a couple bad ones. Like last week stunk too with the Rams and the
Oh
Bucks. Like
gosh.
that. Like we've had some tough Sunday nights here. This isn't going to help things at all. Hopefully, there's a couple good ones coming our way soon. I'll tie this next injury note into a game, and then you could tie a prop from that game into it as well. The Cardinals are in Tampa against the Bucks. The Bucks have lost these 3 games in a row to the Pats, the Bills, and the Rams. They have not looked good. Now Baker Mayfield in, it sounds like, Doug, according to Todd Bowles today. So Baker is online to play, which moves this line back to 4, totals 44.5. And I know we're prop hunting here as well, maybe.
I mean, that's good news. First of all, you always want guys healthy. He hasn't missed a game as a starter since coming over to Tampa. So that's good that he's going to maintain that. And it was weird. It was his left shoulder when he was throwing deep. So it just came out of socket or something. But good that he's fighting back. But I mean, heck, Michael Wilson's been outstanding, truly outstanding. 15 targets and 10 targets the last 2 games. 18 and 15. He's had 118 receiving yards, buck 85. So he might be the go-to receiver now in this Arizona offense. That's who I have my eyes on. Once the numbers are put up, because there's some moving parts here. Bet Rivers hasn't posted props up yet, I believe, for the Cardinals side of things, but that's who I would circle on game day. I think we know who Brissett wants to throw to. I think it's pretty obvious how to make some of these prop wagers.
Yep, right there. When the Cardinals head to Tampa, that of course 1 o'clock East on Sunday. My touchdowns for this week, and I want to start one of them by asking you this because we talked about McCaffrey on Monday night with the Niners and the Panthers being just a ridiculous number, around minus 400 for an anytime touchdown. And then I looked this morning to try to, kind of start to pick through the ones that I want for this week. And I know they're on the road, and I know the Browns' defense is better than Carolina's, but now we're at minus 120, minus 121. So from the almost 400s to minus 121, I've said this to you before. I don't usually like minus money touchdowns, but that seems like a pretty good number for Christian McCaffrey, Doug.
What's the O-line of San Francisco in your eyes?
Adequate to not great. I mean, they're middle ground, I would have to say.
Okay. Because
Middle
that's
ground.
the key. I mean, we just saw the Browns obviously destroy the Raiders D line, 10 sacks, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
And that's going to be, and I just wonder if Shanahan's going to use a lot of misdirection, kind of like the Dolphins do typically with McDaniel calling plays. I just wonder if it's going to be a lot of that just to get the Browns front to go on sideline to sideline, stretching it. McCaffrey's a receiver, I think, in this game. I've definitely played his over receiving yards in previous shows and previous weeks. I'd be careful with all this stuff. But to your point, maybe the market's adjusted too much here. I mean, the Niners will find the end zone. Just I don't know, man. I just don't see it on the ground between against this line of Cleveland.
Right. It's just such a massive price difference from a couple days
Well,
ago.
he almost
It's
didn't
such,
get there against Carolina. It was
he
late second
almost
half,
he
right?
almost did not. That's for sure. The other two for me. Now, Allen maybe changes a little things with both the tackles being out, but Allen, probably going to be running for his life, and that usually means that maybe he can get into the end zone as well. And he's plus money, which he usually isn't because the tackles are out. But the last one was Taysom Hill. Believe it or not, Doug, I found myself watching a little bit of that Saint Buck Falcon game last Sunday. I don't know why. Maybe I had Red Zone on one of the TVs
I watched too much of it
and they were just
myself.
showing too much of it. But it seemed to me that the Saints made an effort that they were going to put Hill in inside the 5 and not let Tyler Shuck throw the football. And Hill was in there nonstop. He tried to run in a couple times. He got stuffed by the Falcons running in touchdowns. They're in Miami this weekend. We know that Miami's played better, but they could still give up some points. I'm going to take a shot, little flyer with Taysom Hill for the Saints at a good price at plus 155.
I like that move a lot because they definitely were using him, and he's their go-to guy. He's still got it, right? Like he's some
Yep.
of the we joke about these college guys at 7 years, EK, and things like that. Taysom Hill's still there and still effective in New Orleans.
So there you go. I'm going McCaffrey, Allen, and Taysom Hill for my trio of touchdowns this week. Is there anything else you like that I know we discussed some things earlier in the week. I will tell you that I am still full steam ahead with the Seahawks and the Chargers laying big points late
Yeah,
window on
that's
Sunday.
another one I haven't quite been able to touch on yet. That I am full speed ahead on them too. I just think they're a beat down, and they're such a team that you want to be betting on. But I don't know, man. Like, there's some games that kind of concern me here and there. And like you said, after all these marquee teams play on Thursday and Thanksgiving, and of course today, as we approach halftime, it's still 10-3 and comedy of errors in a lot of ways. But um, yeah, nothing really jumps out. I'm glad you mentioned that Seahawks game because that's a game that does stick out for me because I do think they're going to open up a can. Now I had them last week in Tennessee, didn't get there. They're at home though,
Right.
and this Vikings team is a shell of what we think they are. I also like the Chargers. I know the Raiders. You typically want to back teams off of embarrassing performance and stuff, but I mean, they're a mess, right?
Yeah.
They have already fired 2 coaches, including OC Chip Kelly. I mean, Chargers should really manhandle them,
Those are the two I like the most on Sunday is the Seahawks and the
right?
Chargers.
So I mean,
Those
it's
are where
chalk. You're laying a lot of chalk, but
yeah, yeah. And that is going to be Max Bromser too. No JJ McCarthy from Minnesota in
excuse me.
that spot too, which also kind of leans to me.
Yeah, I mean,
Loving the smash there. All right, so NFL for the weekend, good stuff. All right, college football here on Betting Weekly Live on a Friday. Now, there's a lot happening right now before we get to some other games. First of all, Ole Miss won the Egg Bowl and a cover 38-19 earlier today. Utah got a 10-point win over Kansas. Nebraska and Iowa was an uncharacteristically wild game for them. 40-16 in terms of points. Usually that game's 10-7. So getting a 40-16 game there was pretty good. Right now, North Texas up 14-7 as they start the second quarter. Big game for North Texas. They need to win to get themselves in the American title game. Air Force up 14-7 on Colorado State, and they are going in on the Colorado State one first and goal late in the first half. And Georgia Tech up 3-0 on Georgia late in the first quarter. So a little bit of a slow start for the Bulldogs. This is, of course, at Mercedes-Benz, not at Bobby Dodd. And right now, minus 10 for Georgia and a 49.5. So the totals tick down quite a bit.
well, we've talked about this a bunch, Mike, and this is what they do. Georgia is a slow starting team in the first quarter. I swear they've been terrible in first quarters every single game. Like they're big favorites like they are today, double digits, and they're down after the first quarter. But Kirby Smart, highly regarded as one of the best in-game adjusters in all of college football. And so I always think you get a cheap price. Like right now, you're in the neighborhood of 10.5. And so I just think it's a good opportunity to pounce on a good price with the Bulldogs. And it happens literally like clockwork. And that makes sense because, you want to outcoach teams, things like that. And I knew the matchup was tough. So it's right now it's minus 11, minus 118 at Bet Rivers. But Georgia Tech does not throw the ball. That's Georgia's weakness on defense. Georgia Tech wants to run the ball, and that's what the Bulldogs stop defensively. That's their strength. So that's why it's a really bad or a tough matchup for the Ramblin' Wreck. I know we know their 8 overtime game a year ago, but or whatever it was, but I still think we got serious steam today for a reason. Went from 13.5 or 14
Right.
to as high as 17 at some shops. That's legit steam on game day for a high profile team like Georgia. So I'm all in on the right in game the minus 11.
Well, I will tell you when I saw that fly to 17, and I actually saw 17 and a half for a little bit, I grabbed it, Doug. So I'm in on Georgia
Okay.
Tech at 17 and a half. We both liked Georgia the other day, but I felt the number got too big. I'm sitting here now with a 17 and a half for Georgia Tech. Got Georgia at 10 and a half. Now, maybe you would want a little bit of a bigger middle than that. What would you think if you had that, maybe adding Georgia now at this number at 10 and a half?
So end of the first quarter, which is where we are, you have to treat it like a middle. So if this were like the end of the game and you have like +6 and that underdog's winning by
Right.
10, you have to treat the middle. The second play is a separate play because the other one's a winner in the bag in the clubhouse. This is a middle play. So it's about you're really assessing how do you feel about your +17 because you already have that wagered. You're assessing this in a vacuum. Um, Unless you overbet it and knew about the first quarter struggles and all that, and you just wanted to play for a middle. Because if you watch the first quarter and you're like, oh, this Georgia Tech's offense not going anywhere, they're hanging on by a thread, blah blah blah, and then you want to get out of it and abort, then that's part of it as well. So these are all sort of things that factor into one's head when you're
Mm-hmm.
making decisions. But it's a lot of it's just your own perception. But you also want to look at these lines, especially in the first quarter, like regardless of your +17 number. But if you just took +17 knowing that Georgia's a slow starter, then I think you have to come back and play the 10 and a half. And you
There
don't
you,
have to
yeah.
all or nothing. You can play a third of it. You can play a half of it. You can kind of just do little pieces of it.
That's what I just did. Georgia minus 10 and a half. Very small. So now I'm on both sides there, 17 and a half, 10 and a half as we move forward. I will tell you, too, before I finish up the college, they have gone to the half in Chicago, in Philadelphia, excuse me. Bears and Eagles in the NFL Black Friday game, 10-3. Right now at Bet Rivers, Bears minus 2.5, and the total down to 34 and a half. So you would need three tutties, Doug, and a hook to get over in the second half. I don't like. I feel like it's under 34 and a half. I don't think that they're going to get 3+ touchdowns in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, I told you I like the under whenever we last checked in, right? Like early
Yeah,
second quarter, 13, 21 and a half. I like under as well. The juice feels right. I think that's a decent play. Yeah.
there you go. And Eagles, of course, money line. If you want to go in that direction, down a touchdown, even money right now for the Eagles on the money line to come back and win this game. Hard to think that their offense is dreadful, but as Doug said before, they're usually good one half and bad the other half. So there's a chance that the Eagles have their good half coming up here in a little bit. All right, more college for you now. Let's do some of these games tonight. There are 3 games this evening to take a look at. The first one in West Lafayette, rivalry game between Indiana and Purdue. Indiana minus 28 and a half at Bet Rivers. 53 and a half is the total. Of course, last year, Doug, Indiana beat Purdue 66 zip at home in Bloomington. There's a lot on the table here. Indiana can go into the Big Ten title game undefeated. Mendoza looking for maybe some style points for Heisman, etc. What do you like tonight?
Now, last year was different because Purdue had a pathetic head coach and he was on his way out, and now they have a real program under Barry Odom. However, I still think Signetti's playing the long game. 2 factors. One, he wants to be able to get an at-large bid if it does not go their way in the Big Ten title game, because I think they're assuming they're going to win, but you never know, right? They went to Penn State, had a nail biter, needed that late touchdown drive. But I also think he's going to try to stat pad with Mendoza because if Indiana loses the Big Ten title game and he plays okay or fine, like he can still win the Heisman. I don't think it's going to just go to saying if Ohio State wins. Um, so I wonder if he's going to stat pad here, but I also think he's playing the long game because he wants to win a national championship. And as long as they win comfortably, I don't think he's going to force it per se. But I mean, you never know because Mendoza's such a good dude. He wants his brother, who's his backup, to come in. So I'd be looking at some props as well if they get posted closer to kickoff because that they stand out to me because I think if Zignetti's like 50-50 on the call, 3rd and 4, do I call a draw? Do I do a swing pass? I think he's going to stat pad a little bit. And I did this a lot with Jaden Daniels down the home stretch of LSU. And I mean, obviously there was a tax. They were juicing all those props, and he was still cashing them. So I think there's an opportunity here, but I just wonder if there's a little bit of not gamesmanship, but keeping your eye on the national championship prize.
I know, but Signetti, he likes to rough it
He
into it.
doesn't mess
He
around.
doesn't mess around. And I know it's on the road, but I think they're going to be able to name their number tonight. But 28 and a half is
Yeah,
it's a big number, man. I mean, that's
it is, but it's not,
I,
you
I
know?
like I like it. I'm playing Indiana tonight though. I don't care. It's got 30 plus point, 35 plus point win over it. I don't think we'll get 66 nothing again. I don't mind if we do, but I don't. But I think that we'll be able to stay above that line. Texas A&M and Texas in Austin. Aggies looking to finish off 12-0 regular season and head to the SEC title game next week. Texas, of course, they've gotten things going a little bit since losing to Georgia. Good win over Arkansas. -3 for A&M, 52 and a half the total.
It feels really low. A&M's been a cash cow on the over, especially in single digit point spreads. They've been really cashing the over. I think they've hit five straight. I throw out last week's cupcake, the SEC cupcake weekend, against real opponents in conference. These games have been flying over because obviously they have a dynamic offense, and Elko's got defensive pedigree, but that just hasn't been the case since coming to College Station. So I think Arch and company at home, like they'll be just fine putting up some points. Sark wants to sling it. We know 52 and a half is really low. It really is. I mean, it just is for this kind of a matchup.
Yeah, I'm with you. We said this on Wednesday or Tuesday when we brought this up. Up and away in Austin tonight. Let's go with that over 52 and a half with these two. And the third game tonight, Arizona and Arizona State out in the desert. This game's on Fox just after 8 o'clock East, or 9 o'clock East. -1.5. Arizona favored here on the road against Dillingham and the crew, 48 and a half the total.
I like them. I actually like them a lot. If you look at sort of how they've been playing of late, Arizona's been the much better team versus ASU. Now, obviously, no Sam Levitt for the Sun Devils, and it's just I love their coach. Okay, I really like Dillingham. I think he's a wizard, and he's going to be like the next big thing in about 5 years. And obviously, Tyson's a total stud at wideout, but I think Arizona can offset all that. They've been playing much better. They've won four straight throughout the Colorado game, but they beat Kansas, go to Cincy and win, beat Baylor and killed them. Whereas I think ASU's been getting away with things. I just think I know ASU rolled them last year in the Territorial Cup. I just think there's a little, I don't know, phoniness to these ASU wins. They beat Colorado, who's starting that rookie freshman quarterback Julian Lewis. West Virginia, they had a quarterback change. They have a true freshman as well. They win by two, they being ASU at home. The Iowa State win was fine, but it's still Iowa State's been, laying eggs left and right. So I think Arizona gets it done. They've just been a more polished team and more reliable the last month.
Yeah, they've been better. Look, it's different with Levitt not in there. It's hard to go with Arizona State.
I know. I just love Dillingham so much.
I do
He's
too.
such a little like nerd, and he's so passionate. He's from there. He's so much to like with them.
It is fun one tonight. Territorial Cup. Can we get that over, Doug? Maybe 48 and a half? Can we get some points?
Probably. I don't. I just don't know what to do. Think with Sims.
Yeah, he stinks. Sims is awful. He's
Yes.
another guy on his ninth school. Sims now at Arizona State. Big ones on Saturday. Of course, the game. Noon East. Ohio State and Michigan. -9.5 for the Buckeyes now. 43 and a half the total. Finally got to crack the egg here, right, Ryan Day? It's been a long losing streak against the Maize and Blue. Won a national title anyway last year, but he's had this circle, Doug, for a year.
9.5 scares me. I mean, sharp money came in on the dog. I just don't buy it. I think Jeremiah Smith's going to play. They're the better team. Too many things went wrong last year. Now they were 20-point favorites at home. This is a different game. It's different ask. Okay, but I don't believe in the Michigan offense that much. But if the game goes their way, I do worry a little bit. So I like Ohio State. I don't love the Buckeyes.
Do you worry about potentially some snow and the wind? Like the
I think
elements
snow would
could
really
muck
help
the
Ohio
game.
State. Honestly, the footing of Jeremiah Smith, no defender's going to be with him anyway, but
Right.
it's going to give him even more opportunity to roam the field. And I think sometimes snow slows down a pass rush. And if Michigan still has its advantage in the trenches, that would concern me as a Buckeyes fan. But it would concern me as a Wolverines fan if there's, in fact, snow and slowing them then down.
Let's go to the SEC at 3:30 East. Vandy looking to finish off what would be a very impressive 10-2 season. Just gave Clark Lea a little extension. They're in Knoxville, Rocky Top against their rival, Tennessee. -3 for the Vols. Big total here, 66.
I don't think it's high enough, man. I think both teams are going to go back and forth. Tennessee has been in a lot of shootouts, and then they've taken their foot off the gas because they've been mauling teams like Kentucky and some of these others. I don't. Vandy's not going away. I think Vandy's live here. I like the +3. I think their team totals excellent bet. It's going to be like 30.5, 31.5. So I like that. I think we talked about coaches a second ago. We are talking about Mendoza and Signetti. I think Clark Lee's going to try to get his quarterback, the Heisman, on the outside. I mean, look, Pavia last week was lobbying to go in to try to get 500 passing yards, and Clark Lee wouldn't let him. But he's going to let him sling it. He means more to his team than anybody else in the country. I think could be a back and forth game. This could be Pavia's Heisman moment. Now, this is obviously their final regular season game, but they have a chance at the playoff, an outside chance, but still a chance. They only have 2 losses. So I think Pavia is going to have a monster game, and he's going to do some fun stuff out there as well. The concern is he tries to do too much, right? You know, holds onto the ball instead of throwing it away, things like that. That would be my only apprehension or concern.
Yeah, I like Vandy here, Doug. I think for all the things you said, I think there's a little magic carpet ride here. I think that they're going to be the team next week or 2 weeks from now that, last year it was South Carolina. They finished really strong, and it was like, oh, they didn't make the playoffs. They got screwed out. I feel like Vandy's going to be the team at 10-2 that is going to sit there and be like, oh, we should have made it. The great year from Pavia. Maybe, who knows? It is a television show at the end of the day. If they get the right upsets, Doug, I guess you never know with Vandy sitting at 10-2. They might want Pavia in there just for rating, he brings he could be the Heisman Trophy winner. Could
They
bring
have some impressive wins. They have some good wins. So let's not forget that.
It wouldn't be fluky if they got in, but I do think they finish off this 10-2 against the Vols on Saturday afternoon. And of course, the Iron Bowl at night. Alabama visiting Auburn, -6 for Bama now at Bet Rivers, 46.5 is the total. Kalen DeBoer not going to screw this up, right, Doug?
I don't think he will. I do think when we get to the Miami game, I think the big meathead's going to screw that game up. But I do think this one is going to be really tight. He's a great first quarter coach. So I'd keep an eye on that. Something's going to happen this weekend, and I wonder if it's the Iron Bowl. I mean, look, it's this game at night at Jordan Hare has produced some wild finishes. So I would just say be careful laying the 6 on the road. Auburn, I know they fired their coach and everything, but they've had some horrendous officiating go against them. And back-to-back weeks, they were about to go up 17-0 on Georgia, and they got hosed by the officials. So just be careful there. And Alabama hasn't really been that dominant. Like, that LSU game was a lot tighter than the final score indicated. They should have lost to South Carolina. That Missouri game was tight. I think Auburn, they're going to get 4 quarterbacks or however many they have coming at them in every which way like a Swiss Army knife. And it's going to be a tough, grinded out rivalry game. I think Bama gets the win, but I wouldn't be shocked if they lose. And I think it's going to be close regardless.
I'll take the points in the Iron Bowl. Give me that 6 with Auburn to hang around and at least give them a scare because they are one of those teams right there. If anybody, them, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, like those are the 3 teams everyone on the outside's looking to screw up and maybe open up a spot for somebody. And I don't think Notre Dame will be that team, Doug. They're 30-plus point favorites late night in Palo Alto against Stanford. Maybe it's Oklahoma at home against LSU. Maybe. Miami is in Pitt. We discussed this the other day. That is a noon East kick, of course, at the place the Steelers play. You will get them there. Narduzzi, the blockhead, with a chance to maybe slide into the ACC title game. He needs to win, and I believe they need either SMU or Virginia to lose on the other side of things. So you have that game as well. You also have that Oregon-Washington game in the middle of the day. So there are a bunch of other big games, Doug, throughout Saturday.
I mean, look, there's all these games had pressure. I mean, that's the one thing we need to remind ourselves this time of year. And we've said it the last couple of weeks, right? If you're a 5-win team, it's like, oh, they really need the game. They're bowl eligible. It's like, yeah, but they have 5 wins because they've
Right.
been unable to win the tight games, right? Like they're on the bubble for a reason. Okay. These other teams, I'll never forget, almost 2 decades ago, right? West Virginia was a 2-touchdown favorite, backyard brawl, had to go to Pitt with Rich Rod and take care of business and go, and they'd be in the BCS title game. Well, they lost outright. So just keep that in mind. The stakes get high. Some teams can play tight. A lot of sharp money or whatever was on Mississippi State this morning because nothing to lose, rivalry game, let it rip. And it was tight, here and there, and a couple plays, couple tips, but we've seen teams choke on offense and get way too tight. So just be a little careful. I'm not saying that's going to happen in Alabama, but I'm not saying it's not either.
And one last one out the door for you, Doug. I am going back. I don't know why I'm doing it. I'm going back. Second leg of a home and home between the Beavers and the Cougars, this time in Pullman. We tried the Cougars in Corvallis last month. Now it's 13.5. I've got to lay with Washington State. Yes, Doug, I'm stupid enough to do it. I'm going with the Cougs to revenge that game a month ago. The other end of the home and home with Washington State and Oregon State.
I mean, look, I'm like the first guy that signs up for these wonky games and these fun storylines discussed. I still couldn't do it. I want no part of this. I got involved with Wazoo a couple weeks ago, laying 8, closed like 12, and they blew them out. I think it was La Tech. I can't. And this Oregon State team was a very big fade. I think I laid 37 or something when they were at Texas Tech. There's some bad teams out there. I just couldn't do it here. They've won a couple games, and I love your angle. I love it, and I love you getting involved in the first place. But I can't join you there.
Like you said, I want to get involved in some of these wonky games. It's not all just the Iron Bowl and Ohio State, Michigan. There are other games on the card, and I want to have a little fun with that one. So the Pac-2. Second leg of a doubleheader in Wazoo tomorrow night. They have started the second half, a quick 3-and-out for the Eagles to start the second half at home. So the Bears are getting the football just a minute into the second half here in Philadelphia. Of course, if you like what you hear and like what you see here on Betting Weekly Live, as you should, make sure that you subscribe to the Betting Weekly Studios channel on YouTube and check out our other shows, including released earlier today, Betting Weekly Extra Time. Dan Roebuck, Steve Wist, and James Eastham as they preview Week 13 in European soccer. Big weekend coming up. Dan, Steve, and James have got you all set there. So Betting Weekly Live Extra Time for those guys. And I also want to say the AM guys this week, they are on the same heater that me and you had a couple weeks ago, Doug. I think they
nice.
Going into today, if I saw it this morning, 4 straight daily doubles they were on the morning show. So the AM team has picked up. Me and Doug carried the ball for a little while, and now the AM team this week has carried the ball through for us as we move forward here. And now
we're not exactly slouching. Like we've hit at least one best bet every day.
No, it has not been.
There was one day I think we went 0-1-1, if I'm remembering correctly. Right. But either way,
like we've been push on Tuesday night. Other than that, I had the push Tuesday night. I hit what would you have Wednesday? Oh, I had that late night Duck Pond Canuck Anaheim game, which flew over late night in that one. So you're right. Not no slouch, but just this string of daily doubles hitting. The guys in the AM have now found their run of success in that. And we're going to hit ours tonight going into the weekend. So that's also going to happen. NBA Cup ends, at least the group stage ends tonight. We will know who will be in the knockout round. We have 11 NBA Cup games to get to. Let's start in New York, where the Knicks and the Bucks will get together. This one actually has some implications, Doug, because if the Knicks win, they will win that group in the Eastern Conference. Right now, that is Group C. They would finish 3-1 along with Miami, and they would move on. So Knicks minus 8.5, 230.5. There is a path for the Bucks also to be, I believe, the wild card team, as they say, at 3-1. So both teams still very alive here.
So this is the final day of group play. There'll be some automatic berths, obviously, with the winners of each group, and then there's at-large bids. Point differential matters a lot, so that's something to keep in mind. I lean to the dog here. I mean, these dogs have been barking more than you realize in this NBA Cup because I don't know if the odds makers are treating this like, oh, it's the favorite. They might have a rollover game. That really hasn't happened with a lot of these teams. Now, the final game of the group play where other certain teams are eliminated and whatnot, then maybe like the Clippers are in action tonight. They're alive for a at-large bid, but they also don't have any leadership, so who knows? But in terms of Bucks Knicks, I think the Bucks play hard. Um, guys like Landry Shamet are hurt for the Knicks. I like Milwaukee in the points. Not love, but I like them a little here.
Yeah, I could see it for tonight with them. And Giannis in, Doug, I assume? Giannis playing tonight? I know he's been kind
I'm
of
assuming that.
game
Maybe
timing
that's
a lot lately. But
I need to remember what happens when you assume
well,
because I learned that in grade school.
you never know when it comes to some of these things. I will quickly run and check, and they do have him listed as game time, but then again, Doug, he's like listed as game time almost every game. Giannis, he's got to listed as game
Like
time.
the old, I think Steve Levy said it. It's listed as day to day, but then again, aren't we all?
Aren't we all? The late night game, and that game's on Prime, by the way. First of the Prime doubleheader tonight. So not a bad day for Prime. They go Bears Eagles into Bucks Knicks into Lakers Mavs on the late night side. So Lakers Mavs this evening. Lakers minus 9.5, 231.5 the total.
All right, so big news. Obviously, it's Luca against the Mavericks. No
Yeah.
Nico, first game without Nico, but also Anthony Davis expected to
Ooh.
return tonight for the Mavs. He's been nursing sort of that calf injury, Achilles potential injury. So they were, for lack of a better word, babying it, but rightfully babying it. And I don't know. I think this kind of disrupts things. Mavs are nothing to write home about, but I think this kind of disrupts things. Luca's been an absolute beast. I think he had 35 the other night against the Clippers in the last NBA Cup game. I think it was Wednesday night.
Right.
Excuse me, it was Tuesday night. I lean Lakers here, but I'm probably all over the Luca. I think he wants to rip them a new one. He loves beating up on the Mavs. There's narrative here. I think LeBron's fine deferring. Austin Reeves can defer. I think Luka's going to go off. And very important. I'm not sure if this moves the point spread or not. So I don't know if you caught it, but Luka was complaining about the NBA Cup design on the court
Oh,
on Tuesday night because what it is, it's like I don't know if it's like painter's tape, but it's not going to be that thick. But it's slicker, right? It's not just the wood; it's
yeah.
a finish on the wood. Well, he was complaining about it. Said, and all of a sudden, the Lakers said, "Hey, the court you sent us isn't work match well, doesn't function. We're going to use our old court tonight." So that's what happens when you
Wow.
make as much as Luka does. You can influence the court
Well,
design.
the courts are very important in the NBA Cup. They should be docked some of those points. I know there could be in
What
a
about the
tiebreaker.
dollars from advertisers, right?
You should
I
slash them
mean,
20-point differential off in their tiebreaker to potentially have a home game in
on
the
one hand,
knockout
the
round.
Lakers are giving back advertising money, and on the other hand, across town, the Clippers are doing everything they can to get more advertising money
Clippers
within
got.
circumventing the salary cap.
We'll get to them in a moment. Bet Rivers does have a special for you tonight in that Mavericks Lakers game flash sale. LeBron James to make his first field goal attempt, make his first basket, boosted to minus 110 tonight. James to make his first basket. You have that on the table for you this evening.
I would say that's likely because he's such a facilitator and everything. So if he's going to make it, he's going to be cutting the hoop. I think. Well, there's a chance he shoots a three, but he's been awesome of late in terms of like very measured with not forcing things. So yeah, I like boosted to minus 110.
We did have the one last week or earlier this week, it might have even been with him making a basket in the first 3 minutes or scoring a point in the first 3 minutes.
Ooh,
And when you
yeah.
went back and looked at it, he didn't get it. But as you were, I think, mentioned that day as we brought it up, I think he had like 3 assists in the first 3 minutes of the game. Like
Right away, yeah.
he
I
had a
was
bunch
watching.
of assists. That I think was the Clipper game on Tuesday that I was thinking about when we had that boost for him. So another LeBron tonight, make his first field goal, minus 110. All right, let's do a few of these others in the NBA Cup. Pretty big game in Group A. Oklahoma City and Phoenix as the winner of this game will win Western Conference Group A. And man, it's a big number, 14 and a half, two tutties and a hook for the Thunder, 224 and a half the total.
Well, clearly they've been on a mission, and also tonight they have Jalen Williams returning. Right,
Yes.
we all know him. J Dub had last played in the NBA Finals, so obviously bringing him in, he's had a wrist issue, and they've been trucking people. They're 17-1 even without an All Star in Jalen Williams. Um, I can't lay this kind of lumber. I'm not going to run to the window to bet it, but this Suns team's been one of the biggest surprises in the entire NBA. I've been really impressive. So what's happening here, and I got some props for you, is Grayson Allen's out for the Suns,
Ooh.
and it's been 6 straight games that he's missed. This will be the 7th. Colin Gillespie has started in place of Allen, and he's gone over in all 6 games and of his points prop of 12.5. I really don't understand it. I think it should be 14.5, maybe 15.5. So I think this is a really good bet. This is best bet potential. Gillespie over 12.5 points. On top of that, a little same game parlay, because Gillespie's calling card is he's made the most threes off the bench this season.
Ooh.
He's done 3 or 4 like every game. So you have plus money on 3 or more. But I like 2 plus. It's like minus 275. So I think it's pretty solid that he's going to get there. And then Jalen Williams to make 1. He's going to be on a minutes count, things like that. But you're telling me SGA and company not going to be looking for him and feeding him. So I think he can make 1 3-pointer. And look at that, minus 112.
That's not bad there. Gillespie and Williams, 2 for 1, 2 threes for Gillespie, 1 3 for Williams at minus 112. I'll be working it in one way or the other, whether it's in the best bet at the end or not. I'll be working in that SGP for my card tonight. All right, your Jazz at home against the Kings, and this is how well the Jazz have played, or maybe it's how bad the Kings have played. The Jazz are favored tonight. Minus
My Jazz.
242 the total at Bet
Oh,
Rivers.
yeah.
Your
Well,
Jazz.
they're a good team, and the Kings are not. Now, the Kings have been playing pretty well of late. We talked about the comeback the other night when we had Minnesota as one of our best bets in the SGP, up 10, 3 minutes ago. Kings fight back. So Westbrook's bringing energy. Keegan Murray's been huge in this run because he came back from injury like 2 weeks ago or so, and he's been a big shot in the arm for them. So I like the Jazz minus the 2.5 here. I also like first half overs. In case any regular viewers of the show certainly know I like that with Utah. Kings will get up and down and run with you. They're not going to try to lull you into a half court game or anything like that. So I like first half over. I think both teams are going to chuck and duck here.
Yeah, first half over Kings Jazz tonight. Grizzlies Clippers. The winner of this game, Doug, does still have a chance to advance depending on the tiebreakers, but you got to win it first. Clippers minus 6, 224 the total.
Yeah, I mean it's tough. There's so many moving parts with this Clippers organization, right? Kawhi returns, and Ty Lue comments the other night said, "I know the mentality's." I'm gonna paraphrase, but pretty spot on. I know the mentality's next man up, but when you have one guy making 60 million and the guy replacing him is 400K salary, it's not really next man up. So he's just kind of whining that they're a 5 or 6 win team. Nobody's healthy. Derek Jones is out, but really Kawhi's been barely playing. He's missed, I think, 10 of their 18 games, something like that. So I don't think he's been that effective. And if he is, that means Harden's not as effective. I have to take the points. What the Grizzlies have done with their scouting and player development, really impressive, right? Cedric Howard, lottery pick out of Wazoo. A year after they take Jalen Wells out of Wazoo. Both are starting. They got the Spencer guy who's a lacrosse player, and he's been very, very good, has an excellent shot. Zach Edey's been a force. And let me put it to you this way. This game may not matter. So you might get a team to phone it. Who do you feel more reliable that's going to actually show up and play hard? And you're getting
Not
6
the Clippers.
points.
Yeah.
Give me the Grizz.
Grizz. Here's one for me that, and you know I love my NBA Cup narratives. Spurs and Nuggets. Winner moves on. They win the group. Loser goes home. 239 the total now up to at Bet Rivers. Maybe slow down at the end, tight game. Maybe we can get this under, or is it just no chance? Spurs and Nuggets are going to fly through 239 tonight. I think it's an under.
Well, we know the Spurs don't have Wemby or Castle,
Right.
so they're just like waves. Like that second unit's pretty good, man. They've been bringing Barnes off the bench. Sohan has energy around the block. He's like a poor man's Rodman. but they shoot the lights out and they shoot a lot. Now, in the last game, they didn't shoot that well, but they could in this game. So I like your over, but they're going to try to run, man, even in altitude.
And the other one, I guess I should bring up because it does have significance. The winner of Magic and Pistons will move on as well in that group. Pistons coming off their first loss in
Yeah.
13 games against the Celtics the other night. They're 3.5-point favorites at home against the Magic.
Yeah. I don't know. Uh, Magic could be a bounce back spot. There's a couple tricky games that caught
Yeah.
my eye. Just didn't want to get involved.
There you go. NBA Cup. We'll know when we come back on Monday who's playing in the knockout round.
And that means no more courts until like
No more
Vegas.
courts. At
So
Vegas,
none
they
of this
give you
nonsense where
the
there's
crazy
so we
courts.
only have 3 more courts of cup games.
And Bet Rivers tonight, NBA Friday SGP Profit Boost. Log into your Bet Rivers app or go to betrivers.com onto your account each Friday to receive a profit boost for any NBA same game parlay. Profit boost is dependent on the number of legs included. See the Bet Rivers app or the website for full details. NBA Friday SGP Profit Boost for tonight's games. All right, college hoops. And not as big tonight, Doug. Obviously, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday were huge. Tons of games. There was tons of games yesterday, too. We get a little bit of a breather here when it comes to the college basketball schedule. Is there anything at all that you have your eye on? I know that we have this game between Ohio State and Pitt tonight. There's maybe not too many other games of significance on the board.
No, there's not, and you got to be careful with some of this stuff because we were such inundated with awesome games and everything the last few days. All these games in Vegas and Maui, and then the tournaments have kind of winded down, and Michigan just blew everyone out too.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
don't have
man.
an opinion here. I think Ohio State's pretty good, man, but just Pitt, tough place to play. I think the environment will be good. No real. The lines come down to 5.5. Yeah, that makes sense. It just feels a little too high. This could be a one possession game here.
Could be indeed. And nothing in the women's game tonight, or are we not? Is there anything in the women's game?
No, there's no
No,
line. We're
nothing.
just tracking some games. I don't know.
Practice
Just pay
some game.
attention to my Twitter feed. We got 4 hours till tip, so I'm monitoring a situation here.
We may have that indeed. All right. Last thing before the best bets is, of course, the NHL, and there is a huge amount. In fact, most of it's going on right now. Although Dougie Pucks did point out to me how awful the Boston Bruin lineup was this morning, and we were able to get the Rangers on the puck line. Had to sweat it a little bit after a 4-0 lead, but the Rangers puck line did come through this afternoon for us. Devils are up 1-0 on the Sabres. Colorado's up 1-0 on Minnesota. The Kings are up 1-0 on the Ducks. Flames and Panthers out fast 2-2 at the end of one. Montreal's up in Vegas up 1-0 on the Knights. Islanders are losing 2-0 to the Flyers already. Canucks and Sharks are 1-1. So the bulk of the games, Doug, are already in action in the NHL here on a Black Friday afternoon. There are 5 other games yet to start. Jets Carolina starts in about 5-6 minutes from now. Carolina massive favorite -220, total 6.5. The Leafs and the Caps are going to start also in about 5-6 minutes. The Caps are big favorites. Now this total's back down to 6. I actually played this over this morning, Doug, in the Leafs and the Capitals,
Okay.
and it
Yeah.
did.
Well,
It,
Toronto
it
Leafs. What do you
this
expect? You
now
got to
the
play
Leafs
over.
have kind of gotten back into. They had that long run of overs. Then they've been a little bit of a lull, but now they got Matthews back in the lineup. So maybe that can restart their overs. And the Caps have gone over 4 of the last 5 and have had some
Okay.
high-scoring games in them. So I'm going to play this over in Toronto and Washington.
I like your style. I like where your head's at here. I think that's important. You're right. A long season, 82 games, whatnot. To get a player like that back, to get some injection, that really changes things and makes things a lot better. So I like your thought process here in what would be a normal like mundane end of November game. It does sort of make sense in that regard.
Long touchdown Hurts to A.J. Brown just now. 5 plays, 92 yards in just under 2 minutes for the Eagles. As pending the extra point, they will tie this game up with the Bears at home. 3 other games tonight. Penguins, Blue Jackets, Predators, Blackhawks. Utah is in Dallas. I'm staying away from the Blackhawks tonight, Doug. They yacked up a lead the other night at home against Minnesota and didn't get the job done.
Can't have that.
I am going to go back to Pittsburgh, though, in Columbus.
Hmm.
Columbus has lost 3 in a row. Penguins have put, they got back on the horse with that win for us on Wednesday night at home against Buffalo. They've played well in Columbus historically the last couple of years. So a little plus money for the Penguins at plus 112 against the Columbus team that just isn't playing good hockey right now. So that's the only thing I got from the night games.
I'm good for like one a week tops. So I
I
already had
know.
my
You've
Rangers
had
this morning.
you've had your moment with the hockey. The Dougie Pucks play of the week, Rangers puck line against the Bruins for us there. So good NHL weekend ahead too. All right, there you go. Let's get to it. The best bets for a Friday night on Betting Weekly Live. Now, I will admit, Doug, I woke up this morning. I knew what game I was going to play in the best bet segment, and you had it on there. And then you have since pivoted to something else. So this gives me the opportunity to now go to the game that I liked. I am putting the over 52.5 Texas and Texas A&M in Austin. That is my half of the best bet tonight for the Daily Double.
Love it. I love it. I just got a little cold feet because I really liked an under that is going over right now in Air Force, Colorado State. So just, a little gun shy. Am I seeing the ball well? Am I not? Like what? With that being said, I did like the over more than I did that under, but I pivoted. I think this same game parlay, because we did lose one the other night, so I want my money back, so to speak. But Gillespie at least 2 threes and J-Dub in the lineup. He's got to hit a three. Come on. It's not like the Suns are the lockdown defenders. So minus 113 for that leg of the Daily Double. I like it.
So minus 113, and I am punching that in as we speak so that I can give you the entire number there. So Gillespie for 2, and then Jalen for 1. That gives us, and we always love this number
Magic
on
number.
Betting Live, in the 260s. Texas A&M and Texas over 52.5. Gillespie 2 plus 3s. Jalen Williams, J-Dub 1 3. 1 3. You got the plus, just one. Plus 261. The Daily Double for Betting Weekly Live on a Friday night to head into the weekend and give us a little extra gas before a huge rivalry college football Saturday that is going to come up. So there you go. Let's get back on the horse, baby.
And Georgia's taking care of business,
Yes.
right? They've since tied the game on a field goal, got the ball back, scored a touchdown, and now they're trying to get the ball back on another punt. So this Georgia switch has been flipped, we hope. Tech's not really moving the ball, so we're good.
They are not. And the Eagles are now minus 2.5 with this game. Now, I guess they must have missed the extra point, Doug. I looked over. I know I said extra point pending, but I've now got 10-9 and the Bears bringing the kickoff back. So must have been a missed extra point on the Philadelphia side. They're minus 2.5.
That changes things.
It certainly does. 35.5 the live total at Bet Rivers. All right, Doug, tremendous job. As always, to you, the crew, everybody, great week. Enjoy the rest of the holiday weekend. We will be back on Monday, 4 p.m. East, 1 p.m. Pacific. What do we got Monday night? I believe we have, Giants Patriots, Jackson Dart and Drake May.
And Dart is scheduled to go as well.
Looks like Dart will be back in there. So we're going to have Pats Giants on Monday night. We got a bunch of NBA, NHL, etc. As always. So everybody have a great weekend. Enjoy all the football and everything else. We're back here on Monday. Betting Weekly Live, part of the Betting Weekly Studios, Bet Rivers Network. Have a great weekend. Mike Carver, Doug Kezirian. We'll see you back here on Monday.